This is an excellent video. This is so good. Please go like and subscribe. There's got to be more stuff from John Amici. He's brilliant the way he articulates things, and it's so many things I resonated with. This video was awesome. I hope you guys got something from it. What's up, gang? Hope you're doing well. This video is one that it came across my timeline and looks super interesting. Why most people are only giving 70% and what happens at 100%. This is former NBA player John Amici, and I mean, this came out 4 months ago, 566,000 views. Go follow Big Think. But this is I didn't know he was like a psychologist and British, I believe, as well. Not that it matters, but
I wrote in my school yearbook that I was going to earn a lot of money and play in an NBA team. It was a stupid teenager's kind of goal, and something so rare in terms of Britain. Everybody told me it was ridiculous. Everybody told me it had never been done. Everybody told me that a fat kid from Stockport who liked eating pie and reading books was hardly a candidate for the world's best basketball league. But to me, it was compelling. So I dedicated myself, my young life anyway, to trying to become an NBA basketball player. I played for a year in England before I wrote 3,000 letters to American high schools. I received 3.
So there's a lot of professional players or guys that want to go play professionally overseas that will ask me, like, do I need an agent? Like, how do I get overseas? What do I need to do? And I'm like, you got to be annoying. You need to send an email. You need to send letters. You need to contact as many people as you can and sell yourself. Obviously in the most positive way possible, but you need to market yourself. You need to build your resume, and you need to sell that to as many people as you can, get in front of as many people as you can, and take as many opportunities as you can.
2 of which were no, and ended up going to a school in Toledo, Ohio, where a coach, Ed Heinchel, took care of me for a year and guided me to Penn State University. And then I broke into the NBA. I didn't get drafted.
I remember watching him play too. This is crazy.
So my success has been lumpy, but that's probably the way that it is for most people. People make the mistake of thinking that I am a basketball player that is now a psychologist, and that is not true. I knew at the age of 7 that I would be a psychologist, so I was always a psychologist who played basketball for a time. Studying for a doctorate while you play in the NBA is not as hard as people think. There is an inordinate amount of downtime as a professional athlete.
Wow.
Hours where you're in a plane for you to do stuff that might energize your brain, and so that's what I did. I had a distance education, and I studied while I was in transit. It's an amazing way to get your degree at 30,000 feet.
This is interesting, so interesting.
Success does require a clear, vivid, and bold picture of the future. It's part of what makes all the dull, hard stuff worth it as you go along. But then you say, what needs to be true to get to that? And not just what needs to...
This is gold. This is so good. This is honestly what coaching is. And this is what mentorship is. This is the part that people need to understand about their own development, because this is a skill transferable across every industry. And it's something that I try to remind myself of every day. So as he said, he's not a basketball player that's also a psychologist. Same with me. I want to be known as other things than just a basketball player. That's why I started coaching. That's why I started doing YouTube now full time. It's like I want to master a bunch of different skills. And what I do is start off with a goal, and how he said what needs to be true for that to happen. For me, I just set a goal and say, okay, if I want to be a YouTuber, I got to start making some videos. I got to learn how to record it with a camera. I got to learn how to fix my audio, which I'm still working on. Got to learn how to, work with the green screen and lighting, and you got to learn all these things. Okay, I need all those skills to get to where I want to be. And then you just start knocking those out one by one, and eventually you get to the place you want to be. Man, this is so good.
In 2 years' time or 3 years' time, if it's a long-term vision. But today, what do I need to do today? What one small step will take me towards this vision or goal that I have?
This is so good.
What will I need to do tomorrow? What muscles will I need to build? What skills will I need to develop in order that in 6 months or a year's time?
So just a little insight. That's what I did exactly with this YouTube channel. If I want to build my community, what do I need to do? I'm going to respond to every single comment. What do I need to do? How much content do I need to get out? I need to get out 2 videos per day. So it's the same thing. You set these goals for yourself and then you just follow them. And then you just keep tweaking it and you get better, you get more efficient and you build up your skills. But yeah, what do I need to do today? What needs to be done tomorrow?
I can do something even more consequential that drives me towards what I want to achieve. So I adopted something called the fee model when I started talking to young people at basketball camps in the summertime. Paying the fee: focus, effort, execution. You ask kids who wants to play in the NBA and their hands would shoot up. Their minds had already transported them.
I do this every time whenever I'm addressing teams. So if I'm consulting with teams, consulting with leagues, or consulting with, if I'm coaching players, I'll always ask, who wants to win a championship? Everyone puts their hand up in the air, but then you have to go in deeper of like, okay, what does that require? Well, got to do this, got to do that, got to do this. Do you want to do all those things that it requires to win a championship? And honestly, you'll get 7 or 8 of the 10 people, you'll get them to put their hand down. Will you show up every single day to practice, or will you miss some? I do want to miss some. I've got some weddings to go to. You don't want to win a championship. You want the success of winning a championship, but you don't want to work and do all the things required to win a championship.
Onto an NBA court, they were already there. But they hadn't considered, as I watched them play in these summer camps, they weren't doing some of the fundamentals that I thought would be essential to get them there. And so the fee model was a way of encapsulating what's required.
I'm stealing this. Got to pay the fee. Focus, effort, execution. Remember
Focus. Focus is the idea that you can curate your whole attention into this moment. Regardless of how dull and uninteresting it might feel, regardless of how consequential or important for your future it might be in your mind, regardless of whether you like or don't like the person talking to you, can you lever your whole mental faculties to that point in time and pay attention in a really proactive way?
God, this is so good. Whenever I was at my peak, so in my prime, my whole life was just obsessed around basketball. And again, it's like relationships suffered, friendships suffered. Like I was obsessed. I'd go home and I'd watch game film on the previous game, but then I'd be watching game film for the next day and for the next import I was going to be having to guard and defend and how they would defend me. 3 hours out of the day, I was working on my body. So it was strength and conditioning, started paying attention to what I was eating, going out and having and partying and stuff. That became like secondary as well. People be like, hey, let's come to this party, or do you want to go to this wedding, or do you want, I'm like, I got basketball, or I got to train. If I don't train, I'm going to feel terrible the next day. I got to this point where if I missed one training session, I felt like I was getting so far behind everyone else. And it's not a mentality I think that you can easily tap into, but that to me, and I don't have that right now. You don't have it all the time, but it's like, I want to cultivate that again for YouTube now. I don't have that with basketball. I've lost it. I still love it, but now it's like, okay, coaching, that's my thing. That's where I put my effort and time and energy into. So whatever skill it is, whatever thing you're wanting to improve at, like if you really want the championship success, you got to give that championship effort, and at the cost of losing a lot of other things.
Effort is the first E. It seems obvious. The idea that if you're going to achieve something, frankly, whether it be remarkable or ordinary, you have to put in some effort. It seems obvious, but most people don't think that. And indeed, most people spend most of their life, whether it be at work or in sport, seeing just how many percentage points off 100% they can offer. How little effort can I get away with? Rather than thinking, how about for the time that I'm doing this, which will not be forever and should not be forever, my effort will be 100%. But effort alone isn't enough, because effort is often boundless activity and energy, and that's great, but it requires that is done in a way that's going to drive you forward.
Yeah, so this too, like I said, that focus with basketball I had, and obviously the effort, it was just like wake up and go do the thing. 8 to 10 hours a day was just spent on basketball for me. Now I'm doing that with YouTube, and it's still 8 to 10 hours are spent on working on my YouTube channel. It's answering comments, it's answering emails, it's scripting a video, or it's reacting to these videos and learning and constantly getting better. So that's where the effort comes in. But one thing I've noticed is I've tried to do 10 reaction videos in a day. I've tried to do 15. I tried to, you can burn yourself out too. So this is where the effort part he's talking about. Effort means put a plan in place too, and just be like, doesn't mean just record 10 videos. It means record what you think are the most important videos at the time to get out. All right. So it's got to be a focused effort.
Execution. Somebody did a great disservice to the idea of practice by misunderstanding the research on practice. They just said practice makes perfect. And it's like, no, it doesn't. No.
Gold.
Well executed
This is gold.
practice makes perfect. Practicing in a way that is very conscious of the right ways of doing things, of the structures that must be in place, of the movement of your body, of the activity of your brain. That's a really key element of success. And that's the fee, paying the fee.
And this is why I get so frustrated with the coaches and the trainers that we watch online. Not because their training session can't be fun or their training session is completely bad, but it's like you were saying you're coaching these players to be the best of the best, but you put them in these environments where it's like you're giving them 60%. This is 50%. You need to execute, like their footwork needs to be detailed. Their shooting mechanics need to be detailed. Like everything you're doing needs to be so detailed. Whereas most of us as coaches, we put out 60% effort, and then the kids that just break through and make it are the kids that we're always going to make it. And then we wonder why majority of our other kids aren't making it, but we attach ourselves to the one breakthrough. It's like, no, how about we give 100% effort? We give them the best workout possible. More of those kids are going to be practicing at that level too.
The first question that kids would be interested in asking me is, have you ever been dunked on? And I'm like, of course I've been dunked on. My first game was against Michael Jordan. Yeah, I've been dunked on. If you haven't been dunked on in whatever context you're in, you set your sights too low. Because that is an inevitable part of challenging yourself.
That's a bar.
To meet and then stretch your potential. And when bad stuff happens to you, you're allowed to be down for a bit. People think resilience is this idea that your performance is here and something happens to you and your performance stays here. And that's not what resilience is. It never has been. Resilience in the face of setbacks is the idea that here you go, something happens and there's a dip. But resilience is the idea that you recognize this setback is a part of your achievement pathway, and you're going to return and maybe even exceed your previous performance despite it. You learn from those experiences. But more than that, they are just going to happen if you have ambition. One of the reasons that setbacks are often disproportionately negative for people is because it sets off a cascade of voices in their head. You were never any good. You'll never be any good. This is just a sign of your failure. And they echo around you. And I encourage people to remember a couple of things. One, the voice in your head is not you. You are listening to that voice. That's you. That voice in your head is not you. It is a Frankenstein's monster of all the disapproving looks, all the unsupportive managers or teachers, all the friends who told you that you couldn't possibly achieve this thing that you wanted to achieve. It's a Frankenstein's monster that has only one purpose, to make you feel bad.
So this is very true. And this is the part that for me took a really long time to overcome. And in like the YouTube space and just the creator space, a lot of people call it imposter syndrome. I've always felt this feeling though with basketball, because I've always been told it wasn't good enough, or I've always been told I'd never make it or whatever. And I've been knocked back so many times, but then I've said previously, I met one coach that gave me an opportunity. And from there I became a professional athlete and did that for 9 years. So it's like, all it takes is just that one good thing to happen. But that whole time you're listening to the doubt in your head. Once you can take all that doubt and all those things that people are saying or you think they're saying, you can actually use that as the motivation to get you to where you want to be. So rather than listening to it like it's true, listen to it as if like, I've got to prove that voice wrong. And that can become your motivation. So I learned to do that, and it's helped serve me in different parts of my life too.
We need to treat it like what it is. It's a heckler in your head. If any of us, with our brilliance, all the stuff that we really do well, our jobs that are complex and sophisticated, if we walked along the street and a random stranger, perhaps hanging from a scaffold, yelled at us, "Oh yeah, you're not prioritizing your strategy correctly," you wouldn't look up at them and say, "Oh yeah, you make some good points." You'd recognize that this is a detached stranger with no goal other than to make you feel bad, and you would ignore them. And that's what we need to do, ignore them. And if you do struggle with this, remember that the heckler responds badly to really smart questions being asked. "Oh yeah, you're going to do terribly in this next speech." Why do you say that? You can literally ask the voice in your head, "Why do you say that?" And it's amazing how silent it will become. Because in your head, you have evidence of times you've succeeded in exactly that circumstance. In your head, you have evidence of all the work you've done to get to this point and be capable in that moment. And the heckler falls silent.
This is an excellent video. This is so good. Please go like and subscribe. There's got to be more stuff from John Amici. He's brilliant the way he articulates things, and it's so many things I resonated with. This video was awesome. I hope you guys got something from it. Let me know if you want to see more stuff like this. These are the types of lessons that you can learn, and they stick with you forever. And when you go into coaching or you go into playing, you can take these lessons with you, because these you can transfer these to any avenue of life. It's not just sport. But this is why I like sport. This is why I like basketball. You can learn things through that are life lessons. You can learn these things through sport in a safe environment that you can take on through all these other avenues of your life. So this was an amazing video. This is what basketball is about. This is what sports are about. But this is just about being a human and trying to find success in general is about. So let me know what you guys think down below. I thought this was amazing. This is such a good video. Really enjoyed it, and I'm hoping to see more from John. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.